This figure wouldn't feel complete if he didn't have these two character pieces with it. Figure in a vehicle, there might be some extra at the end. Hey toy fans, and another October edition, October I should say, of our show. I'm opening this Skeletor with the Panther Motorcycle. So it's weird because normally we get Panther, but this time we're getting Panther and a motorcycle. And honestly, I kind of dig the look. He's got kind of a really cool metal look about him, like as far as like, you know, when you think of like rock and roll. I dig this look a lot. So Skeletor, of course, comes on this open package here. And with that, we get, of course, the Prince of Darkness down there, He-Man, the Masters Universe. And this is our Netflix original series that's out now. It's pretty good. And then, of course, we get an open concept box where we have Panther here, Skeletor, and then Skeletor's Havoc Staff in bubble over there. So it's kind of cool because you can kind of like move and play with some parts here and there, kind of squish some things on him, you know, kind of rotate some tires, it is a tight fit. Unlike the ground ripper that He-Man had, you know, you could spin the tires. This one, it's almost like front to back packaging where this Panther motorcycle is in it. So, open concept, it does say that it has a power attack down here, so we can see Skeletor with the power attack. Let's go to the back. Of course, on the back, we see that He-Man, the Masters Universe, it says roll into battle, and it has a store battle accessories, so it looks like the Havoc Staff fits in the back of this motorcycle. We can see Skeletor on Panther motorcycle here. You know, it's called Panther, but I'm going to call it the Panther motorcycle, just for distinguishing purposes. And this is all looks like computer rendering. Over here, we get to see that his waist snaps, and he can snap his arm forward with the Havoc Staff. And it looks like his torso snaps back, and he can hit with his Havoc Staff forward. We also see in the cross-sell art that we have He-Man on that ground ripper, and we've already looked and reviewed that one. That was a really cool bike. Now that's Skeletor and his package along with Panther the motorcycle. There's nothing else that this toy is going to tell us. We need to get this one off and get to riding. And out of the package, this is what we get. Of course, we get this Skeletor here. And there's some really nice things going on. You've got this kind of fluorescent hand, these, you know, kind of dingy, almost mustard yellow, but very bright colored armor pieces that are all made of soft plastic, including his shoulder pauldrons and hood here. The back of his hood, it's a very pointy, so it does feel a little sharp. Note on this, the head does not move, so his head is in place. You do, of course, have the hinge shoulders. You've got the swivel wrist here. Another hinge shoulder, swivel wrist. We get it's kind of like the ball hinged legs. And something I missed on He-Man, if I remember correctly, they do have these swivel feet. So his, I think, was a boot cut. This is swivel feet. The articulation in the waist is actually where the play feature comes from. So you knock them forward, pull them to the side. And I like it because it allows for a little bit more action features of smashing stuff and, you know, causing destruction and havoc as needed. And then, of course, with Skeletor, you get the Havoc Staff. Now, the Havoc Staff, I love the look of this. It's got that skull in the bottom. It's got, of course, the ram skull up here, and it's done in a very new, kind of fantastic, futuristic way. But the one thing that's always bothered me right now from what I'm seeing, and this also happened with the spoon, is the back of it's hollow. And I kind of wish that they would have just done a complete fill on that. I think that would have been a lot better. But, you know, it might be causing them, you know, some cost issues, so they need to bring it down. It makes sense. And then, of course, that fits in Skeletor's evil hand here, his corrupted hand, but also fits into his other hand as well. So either way, they fit really nice and neat. He holds it fairly well. Of course, then he can bop people with his Havoc Staff. Now, the last big part of this is actually this motorcycle, or I should say Panther. And Panther's got some unique stuff here. besides for these claw-like wheels that they almost seem like the claws should be faced forward, like these were put on backwards. But you know, my guess is that they know better than everyone else, but it feels like this should have been the other way around. However, you've got this nice kind of gloss black with gold work here along the arm. You've got, of course, the solid, gloss black along the head with the gold for the eyebrows. Little green eyes, some nice, sculpting here and tooling for the mouth. You do have these kind of hinged out handles here, so you can hinge them out. So if someone's got a wider stance, they can grab it. Someone has a smaller stance, they can grab it there. Kind of cool. And then you've got, of course, another turning wheel here. And then this back portion is where Skeletor's Havoc Staff would sit, and we'll show you that. Also, really nice. And I tried to take these off to see if maybe this was like something that you could put on Skeletor. It is not, but they are kind of soft plastic magenta claws. And they are just kind of there almost as a rib cage sort of thing. He does have a natural kind of kickstand built in to the motorcycle here on the bottom. And the wheels are not flat enough that it'll stand on its own without that. Now, let's put Skeletor on Panther. So this would go in the back. That would sit out like that. You can push the handlebars forward. Get Skeletor's hands on there. I'm looking metal with my motorcycle. And then, yeah, wow. That's such a cool motorcycle. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Oh, man. Yeah, that is truly nice. And of course, before we're done even talking about Skeletor, let's compare him over to He-Man and the Ground Ripper. And of course, He-Man with the Ground Ripper here. You know what? I was wrong. His feet don't turn, so that's just something to keep in mind. Skeletor's feet turn, his don't. So I guess where he has no head articulation, he does. He has foot articulation, and he does not. Settled. All right. So comparing those bikes, here's Skeletor's Panther Motorcycle to He-Man's Ground Ripper. Yeah, Skeletor's got very, very, very much a much larger motorcycle here than He-Man in this case. And it makes him look, I guess, more metal in that sense. So that's pretty awesome. Now, just when we thought we were done talking about Skeletor, we need to now talk about Skeletor's lair. That's right. Just when you didn't think that we could add anything else to this episode, we've got to get Skeletor's evil lair in there. This is the Chaos Snake Attack playset. So, again, looking at He-Man the Masters Universe, a part of the Netflix series here, we got this wonderful box art here of Skeletor with the evil, almost like slime, like snake. He-Man with the power sword attacking him that says it has 2 ways to play. We get a picture of the toy down here, which is nice. Chaos Snake Attack. It's looking pretty solid so far. Let's turn to the back. On the back, we see that it says Battle the Evil Guardian. 2 ways to play. There's a hero mode and a villain mode. It looks like the hero mode is where you knock Skeletor down, and villain mode is where, He-Man gets eaten by a snake. That works. And then, of course, you've got, the original run Skeletor and He-Man here from the actual figure line. And we'll be looking at the ones that we have from our motorcycles, because that's the ones that I have. And then, of course, figures and accessories not included, and it's subject to availability. We get this nice, cool-looking set here. You know what? I think I'm ready to open this one and play. It looks awesome. And, of course, straight out of the packaging, this is what we get. And there's a little bit of assembly required. You get this bag here that looks like it has the snake controller. Yeah. You've got, of course, your directions. You have your sticker sheet, and you only get that 1 sticker. You have your controller for your, looks like hero mode and villain mode. So heroes up top, villains on the bottom. It's indicated by a fist and a snake. And of course you got Skeletor's throne. How cool is that? That's pretty awesome. Oh, I see. And when it's, I guess what drops them, that pushes in all the way, that throws them out. And you've got this kind of like pit thing here on the bottom. And then you've got your actual playset. Let's get this one put together. All right, well, let me start off by saying at first, this playset is massive. It's really big. And of course, in the instructions, we get to see that we have all of our pieces and parts, our sticker, and it shows you how to apply everything together, which is pretty basic stuff, kind of self-explanatory, though they just showed you how to click everything into place and how to get everything working. Pretty cool stuff. Let's try it out. So, well, first let's take a look at this entire base. So you've got these steps that kind of go along the side, much like the snake pit that we had with the 2000X. They're very narrow stairs, so it's kind of a facade, but it works in my opinion. I like it a lot, and this is very reminiscent of the snake pit playset, or the slime pit playset from the 2000X. You got these nice, almost like dry brush skulls over on the side, which is a nice callback to how they used to do it in the 80s. You get, of course, this pit area with a peg here for He-Man, and this is where He-Man would stand. You get a little bit of paint up here where you got the chaos that's running out from underneath the throne. And then you get a repeat of this on the other side as well. So skulls over there as well, steps on that side as well. And then you've got this really cool throne. And it looks very evil. Reminds me a lot of kind of the design that we got from Overlord from Black Star. And then over here, of course, you got your snake. And the snake, almost like those old carnival snakes that you get, it kind of moves around. You can make it, you know, tilts and do its thing. And right now I have it on, I think, hero mode. So if you hit that, he collapses. This thing opens up and will drop Skeletor out. Now, we're going to put it on, let's see, villain mode, which I believe is up here. Let's see. Villain mode down here. So we want to open up the snake mouth. There we go. Then this thing, if it was a bite and grab your character, which is pretty cool. And it's got a bit of a bite to it. I'd say let's get some figures and check this out. All right, let's see if I can get through here and do this. It's again, this thing is so big, it's causing some issues. So He-Man goes up, and he's like, rawr, rawr. And he goes, oh no, He-Man's been bitten. It's got him. Okay, so if we were to put this in, let's see, hero mode. Let's try hero mode next and see how that works. So let's say He-Man's there. He's going to... Oh, and Skeletor falls to the ground. It is simplistic and beautiful. And it's like one of these toys that just kind of makes you smile. And even if this is the only thing I ever get out of the He-Man, the Masters Universe Netflix style toys, this has been an incredible run. And the thing is finding them right now on clearance at Walmart. You know, I think the set was $9. Each one of the motorcycles with the figures was about $4. And you can't beat those prices. And they're really cool. And if you're just going to have a couple iconic pieces for Skeletor and this pit, I mean, it makes sense to have it. Put a motorcycle in there. Have He-Man's ground ripper over there, you know, it's like Skeletor could ride in, wham, and, you know, get on his bike and just have all sorts of crazy, you know, stories. And this is a fun piece to have. Now that's all I got to say about our Scaretastic Skeletor. You know, it's been a really cool set. I definitely would say that if you're visiting your Walmart and you happen to come across these at a clearance price, definitely pick them up. They're a lot of fun, and it's been like one of those that I've really enjoyed opening this toy and getting to play with it and having some of those fond childhood memories of opening up the Masters Universe toys when I was a kid. Now, that's all I got to say about, of course, Skeletor, Panther Motorcycle, and the Snake Attack playset. Remember, they're not dolls, they're action figures. In this case, some pretty gnarly looking, spooky action figures. When I'm not recording videos here on YouTube, I'm actually over on a podcast on marvindogmedia.com called Talking Toys with Taylor and Jeff. It's a really cool toy podcast. Be sure to check it out. Also, I need your help getting my YouTube channel to grow. Be sure to subscribe down below with that big red button. Hit that bell for notifications so you can be alerted of anything that comes from me to you. Like this video, it helps YouTube know that you like what I'm making, and comment down below. I like chatting with you all.